Welcome, beautiful souls. I don't know how much time I have. Hold on. What do I have here? Ooh, I have 28 minutes and 34 seconds. So if it just like cuts off while I'm talking, so be it. I mean, if I'm called to look at it, I will. But anyway, I just woke up. Alder's out there. I'm in here. And so many things have been going through my mind that I'm like, I'm like, I swear that's what this is for, this channel. All the channels really, even Bubba, like she needed her own outlet. And, so with that being said, welcome to Soulful Sunday. So, again, I don't know if this will be a regular thing or if it don't, you know what I mean? I just do as I'm told. If you're new here, welcome. For those of you who keep coming back, welcome back. Thank you for loving me and loving yourselves and supporting spirit and life. And yeah, so today, this way this came together was really beautiful. So this is That's Life. And I'm going to put links below to the exact versions of the songs that I would love for you to. I urge you to follow the breadcrumbs to the links in the description box and the comments. I like to do both, all people do different things. But it's from the TV musical Smash with Megan Hilty and Catherine, I think they call her Cat though, Catherine McPhee. But their version of That's Life, and it's so good. It's so perfect. And if you watched Smash, like you'll know it's like so perfect. And then also there's another song that was another uh, provocation, I guess you'd say, Blessings by David Tolk. So, but what initially started this whole thing was faith. And so that's why I am going to title it Faith and Blessings. This is life, right? So the reason why I wanted to speak about faith is, well, first, can we talk about my spirit's so funny. They're like, can we talk about your natural ombre? I'm like, yeah. So that's my natural hair. I just woke up, so forgive me. I threw a little water on my face. That was about it. But yeah, I'm not sure what to do with this. So if anybody has any ideas, what color should I do? I've been thinking about maybe just putting blonde highlights since my natural outgrowth is so far. I haven't colored my hair in almost 2 years. It was June 15th, I think, of 2022 is the last time I colored my hair, which shows just how much how much my hair grew. But anyway, if you are feeling any colors, please feel free to comment below. I'm not sure if I should do a color or just do highlights and kind of keep my natural thing going on as natural lowlights. I feel like, or if some of you are in the Olympic Peninsula area, the north and northeast Olympic Peninsula area, I would love to, I need a hairdresser really bad. There's so many salons here and I'm not drawn to any of them. Anyway, okay, I don't have much time. Where am I at now? Like, where am I at now? Okay, what do I got? 20. I can't even see my glasses. Like 20 minutes. I'm sorry to be so. I did like candles though. It's because the energy, I feel like, what's interesting, when this started, I was like super calm, and then it was like, it was almost as if the room just like opened up and a bunch of you just like came in and like took your seats. So welcome. Seriously, it was like they wanted me to pause for a minute to like have you all like come in for a minute, which is weird because if you're watching this, it's not like it's live. I can't really do live here. The connection, all the places that we've lived in many, many moons, the connections are so bad that I can't do live. I used to love to do the live Soulful Sundays with you so we can ask questions. You guys can ask questions and stuff. But if you want to do this, you could put in the comments below. Oh, by the way, look at this, Bubba. Chi-Chi. Mama. Hey, Bubba. What's up, girl? What's up, girl? Can you see me in the window? Can you guys see her? I hope you can see her because it's turned around. She's just doing her thing. She's so fucking funny. I can't get into that right now. But anyway, I apologize for my attention span of a gnat kind of thing. But yeah, that's just because there's so much energy here. There's so many of you here right now. That's really cool. So getting back to it, let's get recentered and focused. Maybe this is, you're here to witness that's what my life is like. But anyway, energy. Right now, in real time, welcome, June. Thank you, May. Welcome, June. We're in the last 3 weeks of spring and last 3 weeks of fall for our Southern Hemisphere family. And Spirit is saying to really, I didn't know we were going to channel, so here we go. That's why I was feeling so. So June is going to be amazing. And that's why they want you to listen to this song, That's Life. There's a part in this song where she says, I've been a puppet, a pauper, a poet, a blah, 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 da, 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 da. I've been up and down and they're like, but I know one thing, that life is ups and downs. And they're like, you're up and, you're something down in April, up in May, but then you come back around in June. So I feel like for some of us, April was really, really rough. Like we were coming off of like all the shit that was happening with, eclipse season and just all the different energies that shifted and changed. Well, we just went through another shift and change. Jupiter just went out of Taurus into Geminis. I love them. I'm married to a triple Gemini with a moon in Sagittarius, so I know everything. I know so much, not everything, but I know so much about Gemini energy, and I know so much about the air energy. And they call the Geminis, and in the negative talk, they would say they're airheads, or they're drift, their mind, you can't pin them down, blah blah blah. But what I've also found is most Geminis I've ever known, they are really powerful thinkers, and that's why a lot of times it's like they're off somewhere in their own little world, like they're just like off, whatever. And it's usually something like Alder won't say anything at all, and then he'll just like say something really profound, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude, like where are you? I'm like, we're talking about dominoes, history of dominoes, right? And he's like, all of a sudden he's like, so in galaxies, blah blah blah. And I'm like, what? But that's what I love about it, right? So in this energy, Spirit's saying this wild air energy of Gemini, they're saying find your footing and find your pace, and don't let everyone's energy take you all over the place. So especially the empaths, the sensitives, I'm hearing some of you are like so tied into other people as your identity that you have lost your identity completely. Hold on. This one is for me. I've been questioning, drink some water. They've been saying that a lot lately. I have been questioning my relationship so much because of the fact that I want to be with Alder. I love him. I love him with everything I am. But at the same time, I'm like, I just am feeling like I need to be alone. I need to do my own thing. Like I need to, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like I've spent several years and many moons working on my relationship with Alder and myself, to get it to the point that now we are healthy enough individually to take large chunks of time apart and not feel as if one or the other, anything's going to happen, anything in a not positive light. And so when I was thinking about faith, I was thinking that faith and trust are really hand in hand. And if you don't have faith in something, how can you trust it? And that could be something or someone. And then I started to think even further back to like my childhood, and that I was raised in faith. I was born and raised in faith, like literally born and raised in faith. Like my family was so religious. Like we regularly went to church. Like it was a regular thing. We went to church. That's what we did. And we went to church sometimes 3 times a week. If there was an event on Wednesday, or if there was like a pizza thing on Saturday night, or I, joined this group called the Whirlybirds. It was kind of like Girl Scouts or brownies for, I don't know what you call it in your country. In America, that's what we call it, but it's kind of like that for church. And we wore these little beanies with like a whirly thing on it, and you would like earn like little things to like, and I was in church with blind faith, man. Like I believed in my parents. I believed in my family, even though like my dad was like, beating my mom, and they would like, I remember witnessing my dad put one of those big, barbecue forks. I remember my mom and my dad getting in such a vicious fight that my mom stabbed my dad in the back with one of those forks. My parents like went at it. It was just so crazy. And I started to think about all of these things that happen. And people will say to me in my family, oh, that didn't happen or that. I'm like, I remember that. Or it's like I won't remember something, and then my sister or somebody would tell a story about something, and at the time I didn't realize I was a telepathic medium. And when they would be talking about their memory, I would see it like I was watching, a commercial or a TV show, depending on how long they talked about it. And I just thought that was normal. I thought I started to just think that like everything I was and everything I did, like everybody did that, right? Like that was normal. And then going to church, I had all this faith, right? But then slowly it's like my innocence like was ripped from me. When that happened, that was in our old, like the first house that I lived in after I was born, and we moved when I was 5. So that had to happen when I was really, really small. Now, mind you, my parents got married when they were like 17 and 18, and they were pregnant, like their parents made them. So when I look back on that, they were so young. They were probably like in their early 20s, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying like you're just, so much is happening to you in your 20s. Everything is shifting and changing, and now that I've lived, 5 decades, it's like I see things so differently. I understand why the elders were always trying to, shield us from this, or be like, don't do what I did. Yes, we have to learn our lessons, yes, we have to learn things. But also we don't need to completely, go through this. It's like I get this thing sometimes where the elders will say, I'll do this or don't do that, or, blah, 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 or, guidance. It's my free will always, but it's always like, here's your roads. You can go this way or you can go that way. You can, you know what I mean? Kind of thing. By the way, I'm kind of digging the ombre. Look at this. I got a nice reverse ombre. A lot of people pay a lot of money for this. But you know where I'm going with this? It's just like this kind of like shift and change with humans, and it's like I was raised to believe in something. I was raised to be a part of a community that believed in God and Jesus, and very Christian. And I remember where we lived in my first house, there our neighbors, I don't remember people being really religious around us. But then when we moved when I was 5 to our second house, our street was very Catholic dominated, and mostly because 2 families on our same side of the street block were literally related and cousins. So it was so wild, to kind of be in between them. And like, it was me, my brother, and my sister. And, my sister is almost 5 years older than me. So it's like my sister, and then my brother is about a year and a half older than me, somewhere in there. And then me, right? So it's like, there were like plenty of kids on the block, for us. So we ended up being so intertwined with each other. So I learned a lot about Catholicism. I got beat up because I made fun of a picture of the Pope on their wall, because I was like, why do you have a picture of a man on your wall? I'm like, that's like blasphemous. We just had very, very different views on what religion was, what faith was. And it was just very eye-opening. And now as an adult, and all of the years of like traveling and like searching out like my belief system. And I had a friend one time, Maria, and we worked together. I miss her so much. And honestly, like, she was one of my favorite friends in the world to explore the universe with, because she was from Ecuador and was raised very, very Catholic, very well, she's Latina, but very Latin. I almost said Latina Catholic, but very Latin, you know what I mean? South American Catholic. And, different parts of the world even celebrate, that's why there's different, divisions of, Christianity, right? There's a lot of religions that were created. I mean, if you think about it, it's like, how come there isn't just one religion on the planet? You know what I mean? Like, why isn't there one? So I started to think about that, and just how we became diversified very, very early on. It's like, oh, you believe in that, I believe in this, and blah, 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 blah. So with that being said, we were taught to have blind faith. We were taught to have blind faith, to not question, to not ask, to just be like, this is this is the way it is. But when you think about that, it's like energy doesn't lie. So intrinsically, especially the light workers, right? If you were born into human form, right? Like, we sensed the bullshit. I sensed the bullshit at like 8 years old. I sensed the bullshit the whole time, but then it wasn't until I was 8 years old that I started to get more vocal, because the more my parents fought, the more like more my dad drank, the more it got physical in my house, the more the horrible, horrific words were said to each other, the more I just was like, as a little sponge, I was just picking up all these different things from all these different places. And I'm just like, okay. And even my dad's side of the family was like really hardcore Catholic, but my dad like kind of converted more to my mom's side of the family. They were Southern Baptists. But both religions, interesting that the ranges started, or really started, it's been trickling. But so if you're like me and raised from two different religions, because what I didn't understand is, I'm like, so wait, so you believe in Jesus? They're like, yeah. I'm like, and you believe in Jesus? Yeah. And you believe in the Bible? Yeah. And you believe in the Bible? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, so my mom's like, they drink at their church. So that was like my mom's kind of response to it. And I was like, I remember like coming home, I'm like, oh, my friends are Catholic. They have a picture of a man on their wall. My mom's like, that's the Pope. And so, of course, my mom's like telling me like, he's basically Satan, that Catholicism is like a bastardized version of Christianity, and that her church is the way and her people are the way. And it's like, there is no other fucking way. And like, but in her mind, it was like, they were the light workers. Like they were and I was like, yes, but like your belief in Jesus and my belief in Jesus are a little different. So I was very confused. And so Maria and we explored religion together, because we both knew and felt like there was something bigger, something more, something grander than we can understand about ourselves. But we also were like, this is too hardcore, or this is blah, blah, blah. So we started like going to all these different, and now growing up, I knew different people. To this day, I've been to a synagogue for, like events, but I've never been to like a full service. That's probably the only thing we didn't do together, because she had, and it was kind of like we wanted to explore like new things together. And I was like, well, I'll explore that on my own, or I won't, kind of thing. But yeah, we just found out, we just got into so many things, and she ended up landing on agape. And if you don't know what that is, you can research it. AGAPA. Wait, I just realized AGAPE. It's almost, that's interesting. Agape. I just noticed the other day on our road, it said this road is dedicated, as a dedication from the Baha'i temple. And I was like, there's Baha'i out here. And he's like, what? I'm like, the Baha'i faith. I'm like, there must be one around here. I'm like, we have to research it. And he's like, what's that? I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll have to take you. And I've been to, I think, 3 Baha'i churches now. You can research that on your own too. If Spirit calls me to, I'll put like a link for them. But the Baha'i faith is really interesting too. There's just all these different things. So it's like, which one is right? Like people are confused, because some will tell you, if you don't believe in this, or if you don't blah, blah, you're going to hell. You know what I mean? HE double hockey sticks, like, right? Like, that kind of like fear that's put into you, like when you're a kid. I'm wild here, don't care. I can't really tell because I don't have my glasses on, and I can't really tell how bad or cool it looks. Like, in one way I don't care, and another way I'm like, who fucking cares, right? Isis and I were like, meh. But yeah, so it's like, I can see why people were so confused. So Spirit is saying, this June, the blessings are coming. And I'm getting this really strong vibe energetically, like that June, especially for certain signs, Sagittarius, Gemini, I'm feeling some other ones, but definitely for Alder and I, like, I'm feeling like a lot of magic is going to happen if you allow it to happen. If we continue to align ourselves with people, places, or things that are so far gone and done from our path, because let's put it this way, I don't know this to be fact. This is just my own personal story. I have no idea, right? But I know for myself, like, where the world is right now for me and my energy, and astrologically speaking, for my signs and my placements and my partner and I, and like things that I feel like we are in definitely a massive stage of blessings being received for all the hard work done. I definitely feel that. I feel like a lot of you are there too, but I feel like for some of you who aren't, you're still where you're supposed to be, right? But it's also one of those things where if you haven't done it yet, you are soon going to have one of those moments where you're like, I can't do it anymore. And the angels are like calling them for help. Say, you know, when you really don't know what to do, get quiet and meditate and ask Spirit, when you're in your beautiful, quiet, meditative state, ask Spirit, say, can you please send me a sign in the next 48 hours that will help me, you know which, ooh, there was 3. So there was 3 white feathers. I don't know if that means anything to anybody. You know, send me a sign and let me know what's the first step. No one's saying like go leap off a building, right? But we're raised to have blind faith. And Spirit's saying, you spent all of these years having blind faith in a religion and a person and a place and a thing. All of these years, or all these months, or all this time, all these days, it depends on each of you. You've had all this time, you've had blind faith that this is going to work out, right? That this is going to happen. Spirit's like, now what if you turn that towards yourself and have blind faith in you and have blind faith in Spirit for real, not another person or their decisions or what they're going to do, but like have blind faith in you. Like, what would that feel like? What would blind faith feel like? Okay. So I need to put my hair up. I can't really see myself. What would blind faith mean? What does that mean for you? You know? So, you know, I know for myself, religion and believing other people, all it did was sway me off my path for 50 fucking years. Well, almost 50. I mean, I really started coming into my stuff in my late 30s, early 40s. But, you know, it's taken me a minute to get here. There's no easy on and off switch, you know? That's the thing that I feel like we really have to understand. You have to fucking get through it to get to it. You have to say, I cannot stay here anymore. I cannot do this anymore. You have to have blind faith. Do you know how many times Alder and I have made plans and then like it gets to like we're at the crunch time where we have to move or leave like where we're living or whatever, jobs or whatever it is. And the second, like, we'll put in an ad for ourselves and say exactly what we need, it comes. Sometimes that day, sometimes within 2 or 3 days, you know? And each time it's like, it's never been perfect. It's never been easy, but we've had choices too. You know, when I look back on the cabin and that whole situation, my gut from the very beginning, and all of you guys know who've been with me a long time, my gut said the whole time, warning Will Robinson, out, get out, get out, get out. No, 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 no. And Alder was really adamant. I could have said no at any point. I could have pushed him harder, but a lot of it didn't feel like mine. It felt like his, but a lot of it was like stuff that I had to revisit. So the warning Will Robinson was like, you know, there was a few others and I'm like, let's at least, you know, we had 14 people that responded to us. And, you know, but the second we were like, at first we were like, you know, oh my gosh, where are we going to go? What are we going to do? And then we were like homeless, you know, home free, but it was summertime. And I'm like, we always wanted to camp for long periods of time. We always wanted to bring Bubba camping. And look, it happened. We camped for a month. And then I was like, the mosquitoes came and I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like we need to move somewhere. We put out an ad and the next we like put it in there. We were camping on the ocean, having this magical time. And we woke up in the morning and we had like 14 responses. I literally like read our old landlord's email and I was like, I don't like this guy. I'm like, he's pushy. He's a bully. I'm like, he's a narcissist. I just feel that. I felt it instantly. I could tell from his, you know, his email, you know, and then I'm like, we didn't respond. And then there were a few others that we responded to. And long story short, it's like he responded again. And then he's like, you know, my wife just passed and blah, blah, blah. And I really could use some help. And Alder's like, I feel like we're meant to go help him. I feel like we're meant to, you know, and we did, you know, and I will never regret it. I will never, you know, and now looking back on it, I mean, it's like, but I feel like we learned a lot of lessons in a really short period of time. And it was cool and it was fucking awesome. But now I'm like, smooth sailing, you know, and I thought we were, right? But April, we really struggled. We had to move. We weren't really ready. It was the beginning of spring. It was too hardcore. May was fucking awesome. Alder and I did really well. Everything was great. We took a lot of time off for ourselves and for our home and explored and went on adventures and celebrated our anniversary and his birthday and everything was awesome. We put in an ad the next day. We got, you know, offers and it was like really great. But one by one, things started to like kind of fall apart. And I was like, isn't that interesting? and I was starting to freak out. And Spirit's like, don't freak out, don't freak out, don't freak out. Everything's good. And this came together. And I realized it's because we have to have faith, blind faith. And every time that I start to freak out, it's an old programming from the beginning, from my parents, from, these religious, like these cult like systems that were like, be like us, you don't want to be different, this is the way it is, don't be like them, look over here, look at the monkey, look at the monkey. And we're like, oh, but that doesn't feel right, that doesn't feel good, like what's going on. Yeah. But I promise you, once you get out of the thing that isn't working for you, that doesn't 100% feel really good, I promise you, it will get better. Even now, it's like, are things perfect? No, but we're exactly where we're supposed to be. You guys, I got a free Yamaha piano keyboard from our neighbor. I found it on Craigslist. Spirit like led me to it. I almost paid for this other one. I was like this close, and Spirit kept saying no, and I'm like, dude, it's such a good deal. I'm like, what? And I got it. I love it. Alder loves it. We've been playing with it. I'm like, I started writing like 3 songs came to me just like fucking around with it. You know what I mean? Like, I know that's my passion. I'm meant to be a singer-songwriter. I don't know if it's taken me years to do it. I don't know if I'm at the beginning of it, but I don't fucking care, because I'm at the beginning of something. And I know that the more I stay on my path, and even with the readings, you guys, the magical medium is about to blow up. So if you're not subscribed over there, you might want to start subscribing, because I can feel it with everything I am. I don't know if it's a short-term thing or if it's a long-term thing, but get it while you can. But I feel like Spirit's getting real with us. And so if you're looking for some really good guidance, I would definitely check that out. I just posted a new pick a reading for the 7th moon cycle. I don't know if I don't think it's going to like just stay on moon cycles. I think it's just going to happen as it naturally happens. But I need to clean up my channels. I need to clean up some things. But until then, I'm at the end of spring cleaning. Hold on. What did you say? What do I have? I have like a minute. So I'm at the end of spring cleaning, and I just wanted to urge you guys to do the same. Also, the owl and the hawk have been coming a lot to me. So I would work with owl spirit medicine and hawk spirit medicine. And I felt like there was another animal. If there is, I'll put it in the description box in the comments below if there's anything else that they want me to provide or give to you guys. But yeah, the blind faith thing is, they're like, why would we have so much blind faith in like other things? Like, instead of having blind faith in ourselves and our own path, what do you want to do? What do you love? I sing every day. I write songs all the time. Like, I'll be talking to Alder and I'll be like, Alder, would you like some cheese with your macaroni? Like, I just like would make up funny shit. We're vegans, but you know what I mean? I just like make up funny shit like while I'm cooking or like whatever. But I've always been this way. I love to entertain. I love to act. So I'm like gonna really start like amping up my fun stuff on Lula's life, but I'm gonna still do this on Lula's life because that's me. I'm multifaceted. I'm not a one-trick pony, and neither are you. It's time to step it up and have blind faith in yourself, because that's where the blessings are. And June is going to be a month for blessings if you allow it to be this whole year. So, yeah, this whole year. Gosh, I miss Braca Goldsmith. I hope she comes back. But I understand. I've been thinking about taking a long break. Or I guess I technically took a break. Not a long break, but I took more breaks from the magical medium than here. I feel like they were having me set this up and blah blah and everything.